Foundations and grids might be the way for most power plants in Satisfactory, but this one follows a different approach. This is Bertha, as seen from one of the highest points in Satisfactory, and it's the first entrant to a new series. Welcome to Satisfactories, some of my more extravagant projects. Located on the edge of a large unnamed peninsula, Bertha is quite striking from below. Climb your way to the top and you'll be greeted with a corridor almost of pipes perfectly placed to ensure full optimization, but still leaving enough room to drive anything smaller than a truck through with no trouble whatsoever. This level of organization and planning is somewhat unique compared to other factories in this world, so why was it built this way? In the early stages of coal power, my fix-it partner Greg and I ventured up the massive cliff in search of coal, because strangely enough, coal in Satisfactory is renewable, trees are not. Construction of the first coal plant was more or less started by both of us, but I eventually left it to Greg to build the whole thing while I focused on other projects. Unfortunately, that resulted in this abhorrent disorganized filth. Creatively called the mess, it did actually serve a factory for a long while. I mean, it worked, just not very beautifully, and we didn't really pay much attention to it anyway. This all changed when our factory grew big enough that the power plant had to be expanded to allow for more production. We decided the mess was not good enough anymore and scrapped the whole thing to build a new. Or well, Greg did. So why did I end up building Bertha? Well, after failing to make any significant progress and needing to leave, power in the factory was still completely cut and there was no power plant. I couldn't work on anything until we had functional power, so in my friend's absence I began construction. First came the coal generators themselves. I built them by sticking to the sides of the flat plane, pushing the coal generators as far back as I could, and repeated, making this nice pattern of coal generators following the bank. Most have supports underneath, which I find a pretty cool feature of not using the foundations in projects. I can put conveyors underneath these and it's often aesthetically pleasing. After the coal generators were placed, I next thought adding the pipes was going to be a logistical challenge and focused on those next. Water extractors produce 120 meters cubed of water per minute, and coal generators consume 45 meters per cubed of this water. This sounds like a nasty ratio to work out, but in simple terms it means 3 water extractors make exactly enough water for 8 coal generators. Following this, I simply doubled it to make 6 water extractors feed 16 coal generators. There comes another problem, however. The pipes can only transfer 300 meters cubed of water per minute, while the combined output of 6 water extractors is 720 meters cubed per minute, 2.5 times larger than the maximum capacity of a pipe. That means that at least 3 individual pipes are needed to feed all of this water into the coal generators. I solved this problem using the 3 to 8 ratio I mentioned earlier. 3 water extractors will go into 2 pipes, which will then go to half of the coal generators up the bank. Same for the other 3 water extractors. This is why Bertha's water source consists of not 3 but 4 pipes. Seeing 4 pipes stacked up like this is really cool to me, and connecting them all to the right coal generators was a very fun challenge. I needed to make sure that every point the pipes wouldn't go over 300 meters cubed per minute because they can't. I won't explain everything in the video, but here's some images of how the pipes are connected. Next are the conveyors supplying coal. This is mostly simple stuff. We have 3 pure nodes of coal up here, which is completely overkill given 16 coal generators only consume 240 coal per minute at their maximum 1200 watt production. But we can always use the coal for other things. I especially like how unique the conveyor systems are on both sides of the corridor. I had to think differently as the generators on the left are raised up a lot, making the too steep to place a conveyor belt error quite a problem. This was hardly a problem on the right side where the coal generators are all relatively flat. It was more or less of a challenge for myself to prove to him that it can be done. Fitting 16 coal generators in this small space was the goal, organized and with enough room to move around. And satisfyingly enough, I did it. Bertha now stands proud and will continue serving our factory likely until we unlock some new form of power. I don't intend on expanding or demolishing Bertha for a long time. Take this as an example for anyone wanting to make factories that simply look better. Grids and stacks of foundations can be neat and tidy, but
The organic nature of making something neat and tidy in a small space without foundations is another beauty in and of itself. Bertha is a form of art to me, and I can't wait to try and make more factories in this no foundation style in future episodes of this series. As for Greg's horrifying mess of a power plant, I am rather glad it's now been superseded. Thanks for watching.